Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another review. And today we're gonna be reviewing this fun little collab with Beauty Moon Cosmetics and Wilma Fingerdew. I'm gonna show you probably two looks. We'll see how it's gonna go tomorrow. But yeah, you're gonna see at least two looks, swatches of this palette, and just kind of close-ups and everything. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. And now, before I'm gonna jump into the video, in case you're new here, hi, my name's Sasha. I love indie makeup, I love colorful makeup, I love eyeshadows especially, and I love trying out new color stories. And I was actually really kind of pleasantly surprised about this color story. It is very much like a bright flag type of color story with a couple neutrals down the bottom. And yeah, I can't wait to try it. So this is a 16 pan. It has 10 mattes and 6 shimmers, but you also can buy four of these, like how do you call that, like these pigments, or yeah, loose pigments, I think that's how it's called. So you know, you get a lot of options. And as you can see, 2/3, like, well, 3/4 of this is like a very colorful, very like also neon-y color story. And then you have a couple of matte neutrals. I was actually able to use like 8 shades from this palette today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah, 8 shades in today's look. So you know, it's been a lot of fun. But as I said, 16 shades, and this one it's cruelty free. The shelf life is 12 months. The cover art was designed by Denise Jerno. I don't know, I'll write the name on the screen because I'm not actually sure how you're supposed to pronounce that. But I will just pop some swatches and close-ups, or maybe I already did. But you have a really nice collection. You have like a really vibrant neon-y yellow, then yellow, neon orange. Then you have this like really like kind of like poisonous green, a standard like matte pink, purple. Then you have this like tealy minty shade, and you have a matte white here, which I can already say that is quite nice. It's not like the most pigmented white that I've ever tried, but it's really nice, and I think it's better than the collab that they had with Philip, the gospel palette, at least from the palette that I have. Maybe I just have like a faulty palette, but mine isn't like the best formula. It's still okay, but it just doesn't do what this one can do. And then the shimmers, I actually had to repress the sheet Celebration because it completely fell out of the packaging the second that I opened it, but that just happens. And I know that Check Post is like very rough with packaging, so that's fine. Then you have this like kind of tealy gray called Moi. Then Makeup Party is like a very sparkly pink with a little bit of like a peach there, and I think the sparkle will be like a purpley. Then you have kind of this lavender blue shimmer called Queen Hello. And then Wilhelmina is like a really bright shimmery pink, and Family is like a really beautiful shimmery blue. That one I'm not completely sure if it's gonna work with the rest of the palette, just because I don't know what shades I would use this in the outer corner other than the black matte to make a look, because I don't like the deeper shimmers to be deeper than the mattes that I'm using in the outer corner, if that makes sense. So that one is like the only one that I don't know if it's gonna fully like work for me, but I can use this with other palettes in my collection. When it comes to this look, I found out that the footage of me creating this look is probably lost. I can't really access it right now, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to like restore that footage. So in case I won't, let me just kind of tell you what I used. So I'm gonna zoom you in. I've used my Button Wild Mega Lost Eyeshadow Primer, and then what I did, first I started with this like shape here. So I have the I Love a Parade, this beautiful purple. Then underneath, like towards the outer corner, I have the Ships at Sea, this beautiful minty green. And then on the top part, I have the shade Party. Is it Party or Partly? Party, yeah. This matte white, which actually is, well, maybe it's slightly less obvious now, but when I used it for the first time, it was very obvious that there's white. So, and I think you can still see it. And I also have it on top of this black line over here, so like that. Then the black one is called Seriously, this one. And here, to like fill the liner, I have the Ship at the Sea, this kind of minty shade. And then for shimmers, so I kind of did like a halo eye, so the corners are this shade, the Moi. Then in the center, it's green shade. On the lower lash line, I have the shade Family, this one. And then I used two of the pigments. So this one, which is number 4, and it's kind of like a yellowy green. I have that in the inner corner. It's really nice, and I didn't have to use any primer in my inner corners. Also, for the eyes, like the lid on the top and on the bottom, I used the NYX glitter primer. And then on the lower lash line, and also kind of here to like connect the shimmer with the tealy matte, I have this pigment, which is number 2. And I don't know if you can see it, but this one is like a soft kind of tealy going into purpley one. And yeah, that's kind of what this look is made out of. It is so pretty. It was just kind of like a very like out of the blue idea, and I actually really like it. Sometimes I have good ideas, if I may say so myself. Then I have this Maybelline Superstay concealer, Panorama mascara by L'Oreal, this Streamline eyeliner in the shade light blue from Revolution. I completely forgot to use blush somehow, but I have highlighter, and I've used this Ice Maiden palette, also by Beauty Moons, because it's my Project 20 Uses palette, and I mixed in these two shades, so the shade Snowden and In Power, to create a highlighter on my cheeks. And because I don't have a blush underneath, I feel like it doesn't really show up that well. But there is actually, hello, why am I not in focus? Okay, yeah, so there's a highlighter. It just, I feel like it doesn't show as well. Maybe it's because I don't have the blush underneath. I think that's everything on my face and on my eyes. So yeah, in case I can't find the footage, this is kind of all that I used. And it's just so pretty. I really love this look. Let me know if you want me to recreate this one, because I can definitely film like an Instagram reel or something, in case you're like really interested in this. Like, it's not a problem for me to film that. So hopefully you like this one, and now let's get into the second one. Okay, so here we're gonna be trying this collaboration palette for the second time. I've already primed my lid with the Wet n Wild Mega Last Eyeshadow Primer, and now we're gonna play like with the orangey pinky shades, and let me kind of figure it out. So we're gonna start with Kiki, because we haven't used that one yet, I hope. It's actually been like, what, 4 days? I think it was 4 days since I did the first look, because I was kind of swamped. So yep, I don't fully remember all the shades I've used. I think I do actually, but you know, I could be wrong. So we're gonna start with Kiki. Maybe I should have used white base. We'll see how that's gonna work without it. But yeah, we're gonna use this. Oh, that's a really nice. It's actually not that neon. It's more like just like a very vibrant yellow, because in the pan it looks genuinely like shiny, vibrant neon. Oh, well, maybe if I'm gonna really like build it up, but I don't actually want it to look exactly the way it looks in the pan, because that's a bit too much maybe for what I have in mind. But that is a great pigmentation. Whoa, that is amazing. Maybe I should zoom you in actually. Isn't that gorgeous? So sorry that my hair are like weird, but maybe you're still not in center. Sorry that my hair are kind of all over the place because they're just oily, or they were, and I had to wash them, so now they're kind of still in the process of drying. Now I'm gonna use Kitty because I don't remember using that, and I'm pretty sure I didn't, but also if I did, then it is completely flying over my head. But yeah, this one right next to it. Oh, that is a nice pink. When I do pinks, I like these like really vibrant ones, and kind of just like, you know, because I usually use pinks with either reds or with these like orangey yellow looks. So for me, when they're bright, it just, I don't know, I just feel like it looks better with these shades. So I do like me a bright pink. I don't wear them very often, but if I do, it's usually with these like, I always say like it's like a lesbian flag look, but yeah, that's like the color story that works for me when it comes to pinks. Then I'm gonna use this vibrant orange, which is called DQA. I'm not completely sure what that means, but I'm not very good with like remembering abbreviations. Oh, that is a great orange. Do you see that? I guess we're doing stripy stripy things. Yeah, so kind of like this. You know what, this is actually kind of cool. So yeah, I'm gonna do it in this striping manner. I had a completely different shape in mind a couple days ago, and I was kind of like, when I noticed that I have to do the second look for this video. But today I A, kind of forgot what I actually wanted to do, and B, just not really, I don't know, like this is what I've been feeling. Well, this is what my hands decided to do, so I can't really argue with them. This is fun. I like this actually. Now, I know that we haven't used side-eye, this one, so I'm gonna use it on the lower lash line because I don't know where else I would use it. I kind of don't really want to mix that into the top, but that is so vibrant. I was slightly scared for this palette because I know that a couple of the like really colorful shades from the Gospel palette that I have, that Philip kindly sent to me, they are like, you can build them up, but they're not that pigmented straight off the bat. So I kind of expected this to be the same, but it's actually a wonderful formula. It's working wonderfully. So maybe I was just a little bit too critical. This is such a fun look. Now I think I haven't used the brown Sweet Marie. Yeah, Sweet Marie. I normally don't really wear browns, but this one looks like it could be really nice brow color. Maybe if I would mix it with the beige, so maybe I'm gonna use that at some point. But today I'm just gonna use it around the lash line, and I'm gonna do this like a tiny wing, like barely there, which I'm never good at because I always seem to mess it up, and then it just becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, just like this. but at least it's a brown eyeliner, so it's not that bad. I have to get back to my brown eyeliner game, because last year I would always wear like a either like yellow, orange, yellowy orange, reddish type of look, and then I would do brown eyeliner, and I loved that. That was like my favorite ways. Or I would do like a really I would do like a more brighter reddish pink in the outer corner, and then like really pigmented like pastel pink in the inner, and then a brown liner. And that was my favorite combo last year for the summer, and I have to bring it back because I'm actually missing it a lot. It's like one of these looks that I don't do often, but every single time I do that, it just makes me so happy. And I always kind of go to myself like, what's wrong with you? Why don't you, create these looks more often? But I don't know. I just have so many things to do all the time, and so many different colors to play with, and certain shades just don't get used because I never really buy them, and the ones that I have are usually in palettes that I don't use as often because they have these shades that I don't use that often, but then I use them and I realize I actually like them. Like it's a circle. It's kind of like a complicated little... Okay, these aren't the same, are they? I don't know. It's really bad if you're using a collab with a drag queen and you can't even do an eyeliner properly. Yeah, that's kind of embarrassing. But at the same time, I never said that I am a drag queen, so I don't have to know how to do eyeliner. Okay, you know what? This matte part is so fun. Oh, this is so great. I love it. Now, I'm gonna use my NYX glitter primer, and we're gonna play with the shimmers. Okay, I'm really running low on this one. Like, I can still squeeze multiple looks out of this. I'm probably gonna be able to use this primer for the next 3 weeks, but every single time I use it, I'm like, this is the last day. Because it always acts that way, and then you come in next day, and it just still has product, so it's playing little tricks on me. Now, let's get a flat brush. I love to use brushes like these. It's kind of like ball-shaped flat brushes from one side, and I mean now it's kind of flared up, but it's like flat from one side, and the other is kind of this like ball shape. And these ones are natural bristles, and it just picks shimmers so nicely. So we are gonna use I'm gonna try to use the shade Makeup Party in the inner corner. We'll see how that will work. But before that, I'm gonna use Wilhelmina, this one, which is like a pink to orange. They actually are very similar, these two. They just have like different flips. So when Wilhelmina looks orange or like peach, the Makeup Party looks pink with like blue sheen. And then when I switch it, Wilhelmina is like a really bright pink, and Makeup Party is like a soft peachy orangey shade. So kind of have different shifts, which I don't know if that's necessary, because honestly on the eyes it's gonna do the same thing. But some people really like that, so I'm gonna use Wilhelmina over here where the kind of pink stripe is. Okay, now in the outer part I'm gonna try to use Celebration, which is the shade that I had to repress because it was shattered when it came to me. And this one looks like a kind of like goldy greeny bronzy shade, I guess. I'm not completely sure. We'll see how that's gonna look on the eyes. So I'm gonna just softly put it over here. Yeah, it's a little bit more neutral bronzy. Okay, that works. It's not a shade that I would use very often, but once in a while in this type of area where you're not gonna see that much anyways, why not? It just adds a little bit more of like interesting color there. Now we're gonna use the Makeup Party. I'm gonna first start in this like inner lid part, see how dark it is, and if it's gonna be light enough, I'm gonna use it in the inner corner as well, because I feel like it's just iridescent shade, but I have to test that theory first. Yeah, this is iridescent enough, so we're using that in the inner corners too. And this one is really pretty. I feel like this one would be a really nice face highlighter as well. I'm gonna have to try it at some point. I don't think I'm gonna try it today because I kind of want to use something else, but why not? Okay, I have this one of the multichrome pigments, and this one is number 1, which I think I haven't used, but also I'm not completely sure. But this one's kind of like pink purple with a little bit of like, I don't know, green maybe. I'm not completely sure, but I think I'm gonna try to just pop a little bit of it, just, you know, to try this one, because we've only tried the 2 from the previous look. So maybe I'm gonna put it over this, just slightly over here. Yeah, it's like a softer pink, so we're just gonna use it to like blend the other shades into each other a little bit better. Actually kind of similar to the Makeup Party, at least now that it's on the lid. Kind of looks similar. Maybe I'm gonna use it a little bit in the inner corner as well to lighten it up slightly. Oh yeah, now it's a lot yellower. These pigments usually are very like sheer in base, and they kind of stretch over so much, so it really depends on whatever you have underneath. That will kind of determine the final look of that eyeshadow or like pigment. So this is fun, and I've received this, I guess, as a gift with purchase because I don't remember ordering this. And this is the Beauty Moon Chameleon Eyeliner Gel Pen in the shade 06. I don't know if it's from this collection or if it's from like different collection, but it doesn't says anything about the about Wilma, so I assume that this is from different collection that I missed, I guess. And this shade number 6 is like a pink to green multichrome liner pen. So this you can use as a eyeliner to like draw like winged liner or something. It is super pointy, and the pencil part or like the inner part is actually quite thin, so you will definitely be able to draw with this. I'm gonna use it today just as a inner corner, sorry, as a waterline pencil, but obviously it would work, and I'm sure it would work really nicely as an eyeliner. Oh, that is nice. So it's like purple to pink to green. It's slightly more cool toned than what I have on the rest of the eye, but oh yeah, I can actually see a little bit of green. Okay, so I'm back with the finished look. Sorry, my hair are kind of all over the place. They're still not fully dry, so you know. But this is the final look. I just love this so much. So obviously I used the shade from this palette, but to finish it up, I have the Essence All Eyes on Me mascara, and I have this Super Stay Concealer from Maybelline in the shade 10. Then I have this Wet n Wild lip liner in the shade Chestnut, so this one. And then I used my Cosmic Beauty lipstick. This is from the Tis the Season Christmas collection, and this one is the shade Ginger Snap. It's this beautiful warm lipstick that I just love. I adore shades like these. So that's what's on my lips. And let me actually zoom it so that you can see the final eye look properly. I mean, do you see this? It's just stunning. So I've mixed two Depotted Woodens eye shades. It's the shade Gingerbread from the Merry Christmas palette and the Ice Crystal from Christmas Eve. I mixed them two to create a like peachy neutral blush, and then as a highlighter I'm actually using the Ice Maiden palette from Beauty Moon Cosmetics because it's my project 20 uses. So I mix the shade Snowden with the shade Empower, I think. Yeah, Empower. I've used these two together like 10 times maybe, and I still don't remember the shade name of this. So yeah, just really stupid. But that's for highlighter. And when it comes to this beautiful palette, I believe we've used every single shade, so I'm gonna check it on my spreadsheet later in the day, but I believe that we used all of them, and I used 3 of the 4 pigments, so I think that's pretty good score. I really enjoy this. I was quite surprised that the matte shades are a lot more pigmented than what I remember. I think with the previous look I said that this tealy one is not as pigmented as I would prefer, but I will have to check the footage because I don't remember exactly what I said. Otherwise, I think they're really pigmented and the neons are really neon. And the shimmers are really nice. They have a wonderful formula where it's not too dry, it's not flaky, it's not it doesn't have fallout, but it's also not too emollient to the point where it would grease. So I feel like this is a great like in-between formula that works wonderfully for my eyes because I have slightly hooded and very oily eyelids. So for me this is a perfect formula, and it is insane that their prices are so low because this is incredible quality. Like, yeah, technically if I would have to compare it to like Fantasy Cosmetica, they're a lot better, but Fantasy Cosmetica is a lot more expensive than this. So when you compare the price to what you're actually getting, I feel like this just gets you a lot further because I can do very similar looks, or like, you know, in the quality, in the way that it blends, in the way it looks, I can do similar looks for way cheaper price, if I'm gonna say it that way. So this really surprised me. It's a wonderful formula, and I love the 2 looks that I was able to do. Like, it definitely made me you know, feel a little bit more creative. I just need these colorful palettes to just like really feel in the mood and get all the creative juice flowing. So, and I can do so much with this palette. I already see so many different looks. I really hope I'm gonna get to using the teal with the brown, even though that's not a color story that I use very often, but I am really intrigued to use that. And then I really want to use the yellow with the teal. That's like on my bucket list. Obviously the vibrant green with the purple, like, hello, if you've never met me, that's what I love. I also want to do the white, yellow, and orange. That's also a color story that I really enjoy to like play with. And there's just so many things that I can do with this. It's kind of like when you have color story like this, you can kind of take it anywhere, and especially with the 4 pigments, like the multi-chrome pigments, I'm gonna be able to play as much as I want, and it's always gonna be fun and different. So I would highly recommend this one. I've had a wonderful time. I know it was only 2 looks, but I think they were worth it. Let me know if you want me to recreate the first look, since I don't have an actual footage of me creating it. And let me know if you would like me to film palette bingo, because I have 3 palettes from Beauty Moons, so we could like randomly generate 2 shades from each palette and try to come up with an eye look. I am currently planning to do palette bingo with Cosmic Beauty palettes, because I've promised that a while ago and I still haven't gotten the chance to actually film it. So that is definitely on the program, but I just have to find time. But I would definitely not mind playing with these again. So let me know down below. And with that being said, I hope you've had a wonderful day. I hope you've enjoyed these looks. Vote down below which one was your favorite and which of these shades do you like the most. And I'm gonna be super happy to see you tomorrow with another look. So bye!